Welcome back, friends. So the pens are all finished. They're on their way to their customers. Sorry I wasn't able to take you along last week. I just had too many things to do, and when people entrust me with their money, I want to take care of them first. So videos came second. But I kept shooting footage as we were going through. I just didn't have time to edit it, so I'll edit some of that in today's video. We'll show you pretty pictures of the finished pens, and I'll rant at you to whatever comes to mind while we're going through all the B-roll clips. So let's get into it. Here's most of the pens from the last pre-sale. All kinds of different color anodized options. This was a custom pre-sale, so customers could pick whatever they wanted for anodizing, if they wanted color anodizing or nebula anodizing, and I put it together into their pens. So yeah, all kinds of cool pairings. But before we can get to that, we have to finish the cleaning. This is a little basket I use mainly to clean springs, but I found out that it cleans all my screws without them falling apart. So it's a nice way to ultrasonic, everything in one go. The one thing I also want to do is when I'm polishing these pens, since so many of them were satin and quite a few were tumbled as well, I don't want to tumble into that little pocket clip pocket. So I put these little spacers in. These are just 3D printed little plugs, and I put them into place. That way when they get polished, you don't round over those corners. I want those corners nice and sharp. So for all these satin finish pens, basically just wet sand them. Every single pen, actually honestly every single pen gets wet sanded, because I just find the final finishes after that are faster. Like they tumble faster, they tumble better, you get more uniform finishes, and it doesn't take all that long. And what it nets me in return is I don't have to pick and choose of what's the best pen for a satin finish. They're all good, so I like it that way. Here's the end caps with their little spacers. You can see on the left after polishing, on the right before polishing. Just keeps those edges nice and sharp, especially for tumbling. I don't want to round over those edges. I want them nice and crisp. Putting all the serial numbers on the little pen trays just so I can keep all the like parts together, and just keeps things organized. Anything I can do to keep my life more organized, I'm probably going to do, because it keeps mistakes from happening. And right now I can't afford to make any mistakes in this batch because I don't have any extra pens. The little printed spacers that go inside all these storage things also worked out super well. None of the satin pens ended up getting any scratches on them. I didn't have to do any kind of rework, and everything fit. And I could just look quickly and see, if all the parts were there. I didn't miss anodizing any screws or anything. The one tedious part of this pre-sale with so many different options is just getting everyone's options correct. So here, I'm just going through each pen and making sure all the options for tumbling or blasting or color anodize or nebula anodize, just noting them all just so I don't make any mistakes. Once again, I can't afford to make any mistakes on this batch, so thankfully I didn't. At least I don't think I did. No one's complained yet. Here's my little DIY tumbler that owes me nothing. I thought I'd outgrow it like forever ago, but it continues to produce results that I love. I put a different motor on it so I could, tumble at different speeds. But yeah, it'll tumble way more pens than I can produce. So I'll just continue to use it. I like it. Just a nice digital system. I just hit go and I just walk away. I don't worry about it. It owes me nothing. It owes me nothing. Here's the thumb studs from this batch, the Nebula thumb studs anyways. Big fan of how the patterns turned out on these. It's taken me ages to figure out how to get this pattern nice and intricate on small parts, but I'm really liking the results. Just every one of them came out. I'm just happy with every single one of them. The pocket clips, they're a little bit easier, honestly. The larger they get, getting this entropic anodizing pattern is a lot easier, but the small parts, that's where it took me a lot of effort. Here's a pen right out of the anodizing bath, and I'm just blowing the water off it because you can kind of see how it goes from a dull appearance to a nice vivid appearance. I mean, blowing things off like this isn't the best idea because, there's technically oil in the air, but it looks good on camera, especially in slow motion. I don't know. Blue is so vivid. It's like one of my favorite colors to do. Fingerprint magnet, but man, does it look good. Next up, we'll get all the pen boxes ready to go so I can just finish assembling the pen and then it can go right into the box. That way, if I drop it, the box protects it, I can easily track it, and then I don't have to touch everything with gloved hands anymore because, the box protects it. So what I'm doing here is just signing the sticker, dating the sticker, and then putting the serial number for every single pen. Each pen has its own serial number machined into the inside of the pocket clip, so they're kind of all unique. So they all get their own box, and this makes it easy to track everything and makes order pack up easier. And I mean, this isn't a ton of pens. I think I'm doing about 40 in this batch. But just being able to keep my life organized is important because, yeah, one little mistake and at least 2 orders are wrong. So I don't want to make any mistakes. So yeah, organization is key for me. And here's the finished pen, all nice and pretty. This is a satin finish fade anodize. See, the inside is nice and smooth. I mean, that's super important because that's where the pin slider moves for the bolt action. So that's the whole cycle depends on how smooth the inside is. So a lot of work goes into that, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. I mean, I'm never going to be perfectly satisfied with anything I make just because there's always room to make something better. But I'm pleased with these. Yeah, lots of different options in this batch. There was blasted ones and tumbled ones and satin ones, and I don't even know what my favorite is anymore. It constantly shifts. It constantly evolves. Here's how I got that shot. Very sophisticated tripods here. Some Scotch tape tripods on my little slider to get that shot, but yeah, kind of fun. Here's that blue pen that we prepared earlier, and yeah, I'm a big fan of how that came out. That satin blue and the satin titanium ends just always look super classy together. It just has a nice amount of punch to it. Done quite a few of these. They're a highly requested combo, but I see why. It's just it's a nice pen. I mean, blue is a fingerprint magnet, but it's hard to argue with the vividness of that color. Like, one of the most vivid colors you can do is that deep kind of royal blue. And this is one of the more enjoyable aspects of building everything is just the box up. So it's nice and early in the morning. I got up nice and early before the sun so I could get everything packaged up and, in time for the post office long before it opened. And I didn't even turn any lights on. I have one light on. I have my coffee out here and no music on, just my own thoughts. And it's something I really enjoy. It's I can let my brain wander as, what I'm going to do for the next batch, the improvements I'm going to make. It's just nice thinking time because it's a really mundane task. I mean, that's part of the reason I try to keep everything so organized is so I can do things like this without really having to turn my brain on. I can just kind of go through the motions and use this time for thinking about, how I want to make things better. So next batch, we're not going to do a pre-sale. We're going to do a bit of a maker's choice. I'm going to make some crazy pens because, we're nearing the end of the year. And honestly, I just want to flex my creative muscles a little bit. So we'll do some first come, first serve sales next up. But yeah, thank you guys all for buying my pens. Thank you for following along on this weird journey. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.